for agreeing to meet with me. Your style is even better in person. I take the glasses.
Oh my gosh, thank you. These are my my like these are my glasses that like look like my dad's glasses that I remember him wearing when I was growing up. They're very like
You're appealing to like 90s nostalgia.
yeah, 100%. You know what? That's what I live for.
And speaking of dads to my dad right now, I may as well be interviewing Madonna. Both of my parents are obsessed with you in the Moon skit that you did with Timothy. My dad has honestly watched it like 100 times, and when I told him he was interviewing you, he was like, Moon Girl? And I was like, yeah.
That's so cool. Oh, that makes me so happy.
So you're a local celebrity in my house. Even just before you came on the call, I heard my dad say, "Is she talking to Moon Girl now?"
Yes, Moon Girl.
Yeah.
That's a good nickname. I'm just recording this on my phone too, just in case.
Thank
Okay.
you, thank you, because my last one, as I assume we will too. It went on for way too long, but by the end of it, I was like, "Holy crap! What if none of this recorded and was rude?"
Just like redo it all.
I know. Sorry, redo our chemistry from the first step because none of it recorded.
Perfect. That's always when technology is like, okay, never mind. When you like have an amazing conversation and it didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and then you have like no record that it happened. And for me, I interview people on the regular because I'm an entertainment journalist, so I'm always glancing at my phone like every 30 seconds while other people talk to make sure that it's audio recording because I don't want it to like disappear into the ether.
I know. I kind of like want to get like an old fashioned like just like recorder so that like if
Yeah.
I'm walking around I just like can have the button that plays record and I don't have to like fish around in my phone and stuff. It's just like if that feels I don't know like authentic or something.
Right, like old school voice memos.
Yeah, like you're a private eye or something. It's like
Yeah, where you have to lug around a brick to record every interaction.
yeah, that seems fun in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm one to talk since I'm someone who depends on technology to live. Like, I've got my wheelchair, I've got Siri now. She made texting a lot easier. I've got all my little demonic Apple products.
Oh my
Everything's
God.
in my favor.
Siri like doesn't Siri's been not working for me. She's been hating me lately. I like tried to ask her yesterday. I was like running around. I was like super late for something and I'm like, "Siri, what's the weather?" And I was like, "Siri, what is the weather?" Not and then she was just like, "No, bitch."
I know.
Not
I feel like Siri and I are in a failing relationship because I use her to text like when I'm in bed or I need help, and I'll say like, "Hey Siri," and she doesn't answer me anymore since the update. It's just a little doot sound, and I'm like, "How do I know if she's recording or not? Is Siri gonna leave me to die?" Like you just don't know. Every time
do
you
you
ask
have
her, it's a roulette.
what's your voice that you have? Is it just like the regular girl voice?
Yeah, a regular. I'm too impatient. But my mom is like a fancy British dude.
It's like yeah, you can just hire a weird butler on your phone.
Yeah, robot butler. Have
Hey,
Have you seen all those stories lately about how people are just falling in love with AI because they've given up on people?
you know what? I feel like we predicted this. We had Her, the movie. We had a hot robot and Ex Machina, and it's just about time before like that just became real life. Like, okay, these kind of do it for me.
Well, everything is moving to the conclusion that humans just want to fuck robots and we're not interested in actual people.
I'm sure that they can, yeah. I'm like, I can't imagine that people would move completely into doing that, but it's like we already had the weirdos buying the dolls, the
Yeah,
sex doll. We already have them, so it's like
Chloe, have you met any man ever? A man will stick his dick into to a can of pumpkin if you had the opportunity. Like it's just like men it's not about emotion or anything. It's just about like what is something new that I can stick my dick into.
Yeah, it's only just newness. It's not, it's just new. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just if it's new.
yeah, like all of the interaction I have on dating apps is just men being like, "Well, how would I have sex with you?" And I'm like, "What happened to hello? How are you?"
It's like responding to like a cute picture and they're like, wait, but like what the, I feel like the responses that I get on dating apps and stuff are I screenshot them all the time because they are some of the funniest things I've ever read. They're like just like, what? What are you talking about? They're just bizarre.
The women who post them on TikTok are my heroes. They're all so funny. There was one woman on TikTok where she had like a pretty flat ass, and there was a picture on her Hinge profile that showed that, and guys were responding like, "When you type LMAO too many times," and I was like, "Oh my god, I would never recover."
That is that's so scary. I can't I what this one person? Um I like keep screenshotting people's like ways that they respond to like the questions, like the question prompts. It's like you can't write this shit. One of them, I have to like read a version of it. I don't know if that's allowed or you need to like bleep out every other word so we don't get sued, but
I don't know.
um
We'll let Ethan deal with it. It's your problem now, Ethan.
Ethan, let us know. I can switch around the words just to make sure there's no copyright issues. But this person's simple pleasure. Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, yeah. Simple pleasures. It starts off normal, but it's traveling, making art, taking photos, a fat ass, food, and more food. I'm like, what is this? This is like, this is like a sketch. How is this person real?
Why is a fat ass so low on the list? Like, if you're gonna go to it, at least put it higher. At least make your first simple pleasure a fat ass.
Yeah. And it's like a fat ass. Is that a simple pleasure? I don't know if I would even categorize it as a simple pleasure.
Well, because like, how many activities can you realistically do with a fat ass? Like, I don't know the whole repertoire, but isn't it pretty much look at it or touch it end of life? Like you can't like it's not like I love a fat ass because I can play a robust game of sport with it. Like it's just like it's just there to be observed. So like can you yeah I mean I get that he's talking about sex, but like can a fat ass really be like something to be consumed?
Hey, I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people would say yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
That, I'm like,
I
now
love
that's really
that.
dirty. It's like, can it be consumed? Yeah, yeah, definitely. It definitely can. If we're looking at it in a certain way, for sure. I'm looking at some of the other things I've screenshotted that are just like so funny. Um,
The worst, most unhinged one that I've ever gotten is some guy messaged me, "You're like Stephen Hawkins, but prettier." And I was, first of all, his name is Stephen Hawking. Second of all, ew. But third of all, like, we don't even have close to the same disability. We don't even look alike. I don't even think Stephen Hawking was objectively that hot. So I was like, why is this a come on? I'm a hot version of Stephen Hawking. What?
you know what? Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking, pretty hot. I haven't looked at Stephen Hawking in a while, but Eddie Redmayne is very hot. And if that's the version, that person might be implanting that version.
I'm
That
just
might be very hot.
I'm just gonna go with that because every other scenario, I was like, how is this working?
Yeah. That is so people like are totally shameless. This person's um this person's simple pleasure is the color gray.
Wow, could you say you're a more beige person than if you say your simple pleasure is the color gray?
And every picture on their profile is like some is him looking in a mirror, just dead eyes, but just like a bunch of different angles.
You never know, at the right angle, you might find the soul.
Yeah. Well, one of the things he said is together we could make soup, snooze, and yearn. That's the same person.
I
That's a serial killer.
I feel like Gen Z men in particular are trying to co-opt women's language of yearning to be like, see, I'm an ally, like I'm a male feminist, you could like me, aka have sex with me, but it's like, like unless you're like a really good actor. Wait, who's that actor? Tony Golding, the dude from Scandal. A man that
Oh.
He's a man that knows yearning Tony Goldwyn. Everybody else just needs to sit down because it's not working out.
Is yearning like a specifically like divine feminine trait?
Yeah, yearning, I feel like it's uniquely feminine, which is why so few men can do it properly because it's almost like to yearn is to be a woman. So
Why do you think that? Like I agree. I feel that like in my soul, like, yeah, that feels right. And it I'm like, why? Why do you think
men have historically never been denied enough to justify yearning.
yearning? Yeah.
Because you're
Pining. Is that different?
pining is a little more emotional, but both of them signal like a unique emotional sufficiency that usually only women experience because of how we're raised in society.
Have you had a time that you can remember specifically where you were yearning? Like,
Um, my sapphic ladies will know this. I'm biased, so like my biggest yearning hours are like always for women that I like had major feelings for, and they like didn't
yeah.
care. But I feel like a lot of sapphic women will relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly get that. I feel like that like sapphic yearning is specific and different from like straight yearning. Um, because there's an element in like for two women where it's like we could stay friends forever and like be best friends, or like this could turn into something different, but I'm not sure what I want more, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like with a man, it's sometimes like, yeah, well, I don't know if I really want to be your best friend, but
With women, you're like, if I don't act on this, we could be besties forever. But if I do act on this, I'm gonna ruin everything and it's gonna go horribly wrong. So
yeah.
which train track do I choose to go down?
Yeah, and like every lesbian movie is just like, should we? Are we? Every like it's just every single one is like, what is this? Um, a little bit of me is like, oh, more lesbian movies where it's like they met at a bar and like kind of just went from there and just like started dating.
A normal one night stand. Like, why isn't that sapphic women always need like layers of refusal and denial embedded into all the stories? Like, I feel like it plays into the inherent expectation of masochism within queer people that we always have to suffer to feel any desire or any fulfillment.
Is that it? Like a necessity for suffering?
Yeah, because if you look at like every gay storyline, especially with women, it's always like she's cheating on her husband. Like there's some reason they can't be together, or it's like 1892. There's always got to be a million obstacles why they can't be happy.
It's always like 1892.
Yeah,
Why
right.
is it?
Well, I guess because in modern day it would be a lot less suffering because queer people can usually, hopefully, if they're in a good enough place, just date. So then that takes all the intrigue out of it because there's not the masochism and you don't have to like weep over your desire or like masturbate to the idea of like touching their fingers.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, it is the most palpable type of yearning in gay movies because it's like there somehow has to be a huge like internal reason and external reason why they can't be together. But I will have to say, like, I mean, in like a straight way, Romeo and Juliet, of course, like have the star-crossed lovers thing that where they have a man yearning, like he is yearning.
Yeah, and again, it's like the guy who played Romeo in the 1968 version of Romeo and Juliet, and then Tony Goldwyn, and no other straight man knows yearning. It's like only those two.
I wanted to see, I don't think it's still on Broadway, but I wanted to see the Romeo and Juliet with Rachel Ziegler.
Oh yeah, I heard it was good.
Yeah, I mean that version of it, I think the guy's name was Kit? No.
Was that Kit Connor?
Yeah, I I think so. I don't want to be wrong. I might be wrong, but I did see a clip from that that was just kind of like a perfect little depiction of what you should feel while watching Romeo and Juliet, like that extreme sense of like teenage like horniness and excitement, and the audience when during the clip was so vocal and like like they were like screaming for it, which I thought was so cool, and definitely like the response that the play got originally, probably like with people. And it was the clip of, it's like the balcony scene or whatever, and he like climbs up onto like this platform thing kind of that Rachel is on, but he's hanging like he's doing a pull-up. And then he's like hanging and talking as he's hanging, and it's like so like brutal, like it is like suffering. And so he's like holding on for dear life, trying to talk to her, like trying to remain close to her. And then at the end he like does a full pull up to like kiss her, and the audience is like, yes. um I thought that was wonderful, although I've not seen the rest of that play, but that specifically was like, that is wonderful. I love that.
And I don't know if it is Kit Connor, but if it was, that makes sense because again, Kit Connor is an elite bisexual, therefore he also understands yearning. And I
It
feel
is Kit Connor.
he plays Nick in Heartstopper.
Oh,
And when he was younger, he also played like 12-year-old Elton John in the movie.
oh, huh. He's really he's really grown up. I'm like looking at pictures of him like, wait, I gotta stop doing this.
He was
Like
born in
grown up.
2004, so I'm like, oh, that's a no-go. But that's an example of like, I want a wife so bad, specifically because women in particular are just so much more emotionally resonant, and I feel as though when you have a disability or when you're in such a place as to be perpetually physically and emotionally vulnerable, women, just as a broad stereotype, are better at handling it. But specific men, like men who are tapped into their emotional intelligence, really do it for me. And that's like two men. But that would be the one scenario where I'd be like, okay, I might kind of want a husband because otherwise it's wife all the way. But then I look at men like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I could do it.
There's such a sense, there is a sensitivity because they do know like the strange suffering of being gay, and
Yeah.
then also like they have that like knowledge of that it is kind of like internally stressful and shameful or something like that, and then being able to understand that is like you're a little bit closer to understanding like how like females feel in the world or how queer people feel or like whatever. And it's like it's very endearing because it's like that sensitivity that is impossible to know or teach if you don't experience it. I feel like on all ends of the spectrum with people, it's like there's I'm very like specific about who I like.
Yeah.
Like definitely not like the pretty boys of Hollywood kind of throw me off. It's like the pretty boy movie star effect is like not necessarily the female gaze. Like it's not I don't I maybe I'm wrong and I'm not speaking for everyone, but there is something so unapproachable about like a very pretty man that I'm not that interested in.
Yeah, or like for example, like recently, a couple months ago, and I can say this because he's my close friend now, so it's not weird. But I met this guy who I thought was very hot, and like within a couple minutes, I found out he was gay and had a boyfriend. So it was like, okay, obviously romance isn't an option, but for me, I feel like so much more comfortable with him because he's just really hot and emotionally empathetic. And I have days where like I want to make out with you, but not in like a creepy romantic way where I want to like have you. You're literally just nice, you
You're
know?
nice and you're beautiful.
Yeah, that's all it is. I keep being like, don't worry, it's not like a single white female situation. I'm not trying to steal you from your boyfriend, but the way you ask me questions about myself and care about my emotional well-being is just really hot.
Yeah. And that can make even someone who you are not attracted to become attractive.
Yeah,
Where you're like, "Oh my God, like I that's what's so annoying about like dating apps and stuff is that I'm so much more attracted to vibe. And so it's so hard to especially vibe comes through with your voice, vibe comes through with like how you walk, that
it's
those kind of things
late,
you
but
can't
continue.
see.
No, no, that was a bad joke. You said how they walk, and I said can't relate.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
It
I
already
didn't.
died. Keep going, keep going. Fail.
It's like how you walk, I mean how you talk. Yeah. I but you have to get like a really good essence. Like you can even get an essence like over FaceTime or over Zoom a lot better than you can with like a picture and like someone just responding to a question. Like I just can't get the vibe. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm attracted to you.
Yeah. Dating apps make me feel like a huge bitch because I just swipe left on everyone because based on physical attraction, like very few people, like I'm not really physically attracted based on pictures, and most other people aren't either. So it's like it's a really hard way to like attract people.
Uh, Completely. And let me tell you, like visually, I will go for people across the board. Like like any can look any kind of way. And it's way more to do with vibe. Um, which is why I feel like I am particular and specific about like, oh, the people that I do end up really liking because it often like is definitely not solely based on like what their picture looks like. It like sometimes you can just show up and be this like swagless.
Years ago, like during COVID, I was super into this guy who was like not a good person. Actually, he's in the New York comedy scene, so I should be really careful, but probably he's
Probably know him.
he's unsuccessful enough where I don't think you know him, luckily. But like I
Hey, I
I
know a lot of people.
I finally went through the humbling straight girl experience of like showing your friends a picture of a dude and they were like, what? Because they didn't see he wasn't visually appealing at all. It was literally just because he he did the same thing where he asked questions about me. And through this conversation, I'm really learning that my standards are too low.
Yeah. It's like he asked a question.
We were
That's
gonna
fucking
get married.
not.
I know.
That's cute though. It's like it does make you remember like how simple we all are in terms of like, wow, we're just like suckers for someone who's just nice.
I know. Well, are you like actively dating right now? I assume because you have the apps, but I don't know.
Yeah, I am kind of like my friends are like, you know, gotta get out there, get on the apps, like see what's up. Um, but the apps are hard. I get scared of meeting people.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't want to die.
yeah, hey, that's one reason. Other
And
reason is like, bore could be boring, could be a waste of time, don't want to have a drink, you know, so many reasons. I don't know. Do you drink?
no, no, specifically because when I drink, I become like the horniest person on earth. I try to make out with like everyone in the room, and it's very uncomfortable for everyone. So I was like, I don't want to subject myself or other people to that. But I also can't drink because I'm just generally like very small. Like I can, but it hits me very quickly because it's only 90. I'm only 90 pounds, so
Wow.
that's awkward too because so much of social culture is around alcohol, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't drink, and people are always like, "Why? It'll be fine." And I'm like, "Well, it's really hard to explain, but yeah, I just don't." And I should have to justify that to people, but it's like people are so boring and uncultured that they can't think of a way to bond that doesn't involve alcohol.
Well, it is so hard to date
Yeah,
like without going to a bar. It's like it's such a like that's the one thing that is frustrating is that someone's like, "Oh, are you free Thursday or whatever?" And it's like, "Okay, I guess I'm like getting drinks on Thursday and then I have a birthday party on Friday." And then it's like, I don't want to be like drinking every night, but like if I'm gonna go on this date, like it's always inevitably gonna be at a bar. Which, maybe we open up dates to laser tag or something
paintball,
else.
paintball.
Baseball?
Yeah, that would be kind of painful, but it would be entertaining.
I am so afraid of baseball. I got hit in the face when I was a kid from a baseball in my nose and I like was bleeding everywhere. It was very traumatic for me. Got hit by a pop fly.
And you never recovered. That's
And let's just say I have to tell that story to every new person I meet.
why to justify your hatred of baseball? I guess you're not a fan of the movie Twilight then, huh?
Okay. I you're gonna be maybe upset with me, but I have never seen Twilight.
Oh, Chloe, I've gotta, come on, we've gotta do it. I've gotta be your initiation. I'm the perfect gateway because I have like funny commentary.
Everyone seems to have had a relationship with Twilight growing up, and I do feel like I kind of just evaded it somehow. I mean, I had like two older brothers, and they were very into other stuff, and I missed a lot of things. Like I didn't watch Glee, which is so weird because I'm such a theater person. But I just didn't end up watching it, and like I feel so out of the loop. Um, from like the cultural touchstones of like our youth.
Yeah, well, honestly, Glee is for the best because I feel like that didn't end well for anybody, and it didn't age
It is
well.
haunted.
Yeah, it's just like it's a very uncomfortable relic of millennial adolescence. But Twilight,
Yeah.
I can't vouch for all the other movies, but I mean, I've seen them all, and honestly, you could skip the rest of the movies, but the first one in particular, and maybe even New Moon, is just like they're camp in a way that's so hilarious, and so kind of
Yeah, I don't watch them.
kind of self-aware, but also not. And it's just like, I don't know, it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would love it now
Yeah.
because it is so like cheesy, corny, amazing.
Yeah. Honestly, like that should be our first in-person meetup is I'm gonna show you Twilight.
Yeah, I'll rent out a theater. I'll be like, okay, Erin, you have to come. We're watching Twilight. And also it's up for anybody who missed Twilight culturally in their youth and really wants to hear the commentary that you have.
Yeah, well, there's a place I forget which state it's in, but there's a theater out west that shows it like once a year, so everybody will
So
come
they
to
make me
the
go
theater.
out west.
I know.
That seems like a little bit of a trek for Twilight, but if I gotta do it,
No, honestly, I was just talking to my friend from high school who was super obsessed with Twilight when we were teenagers, and she texted me being like, "Hey, my husband thinks I should do something stupid. Do you want to come with me to Fork so we can see where Twilight was filmed?" And I was like, "Yes, I absolutely want to do that."
wow, it was in Washington.
Yeah, Forks.
Yeah, yeah, Forks, right? Like gloomy and I've been around that area kind of, and it's like, yeah, something something like Twilight would be shot here. I think like that's also the setting of around the same place as Twin Peaks, right?
Oh, really? I don't know. I've never seen Twin Peaks.
Well, yeah, you should watch that. Um, I'm gonna see where is it set. It is in Washington, is in a fictional town of Twin Peaks, Washington. So it's like it's a very similar like look and climate and a little bit like spookiness.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, if you like the kind of like eeriness of Twilight, but with sort of an absurdist, artsy spin, David Lynch, Twin Peaks. That's what you're gonna get.
And I think for me, on a deeper psychological level, the reason why I resonated with Twilight because it's like the inherent eroticism of denial, like the idea that he can't touch her because he wants to eat her or whatever. And I think subconsciously I connected that to like when you're disabled, like not a lot of people touch you unless it's clinically or medically for like daily care stuff. So I feel like
Yeah.
for a lot of people in the community, it's like there's an inherent eroticism to like touch and the forbiddenness of it, and like wanting people who inherently don't see you as human. And I don't know, there's a
Yeah.
vampirism to disability metaphor in there somewhere because it's like you're seen as a human, but you still want to bond and you still want love from the people who think falsely that they have the authority to grant you your personhood and your humanity. So it's like the inherent tension between that reality and like your most hidden desires.
Okay, the essay needs to be written now if it hasn't already. I'm so down for this angle of it.
Yeah, and actually I feel like it's it's stupid because when you pull back, Twilight was written by a horny Mormon lady that shouldn't weirdly be writing about falling in love with a teenager when she was like 40. But
Damn.
in a way, it also really helped me figure out my sexuality, just or come to peace with my desires in general. Because it's really hard to want that affection from people, especially at that age, and not really have access to it.
I mean, yeah, it's always these like teenage love fantasy things that are so resonant because you do remember that time in your life as wanting so many things that you cannot have yet. And
Yeah.
it's like it's paralleled and obviously like in queerness or with like disability, people with disabilities or anything like that, it's like wanting maybe wanting something that you can't have or that's difficult to get. And that is always what teenagers feel. It's like, oh, I can't have this thing that I really want. I'm not old enough. I'm not experienced enough. I don't know how to ask. I've never done this before. And that's like everyone loves that. stuff. Even 40-year-old Mormons, apparently. Why? Who is this woman? Why did she write this?
Oh, Chloe, I'm about to ruin your life.
Uh-oh.
Twilight was based off of a horny Mormon mom named Stephanie Meyer that had a dream in which she fell in love with Edward, who was an immortal 17-year-old boy. And then based on that like borderline erotic dream with a minor, she chose to build Twilight off of that. And actually that's the most famous scene in the book was the meadow scene was based on her dream where she basically fantasized about like fucking a 17-year-old.
Oh my God. Wait, so how old is the vampire?
Like in real life he's like 110 or like 108, but still that makes it weird that he's attracted to a 17-year-old girl. Like I didn't care about that when I was a teenager, but now as an adult you're like what the fuck.
So
Like
how old is he? Like, why is he a teenager?
because you're at the age you're turned is the age you stay forever, and he was dying of the Spanish flu, so he got turned in 1918 when he was 17. So
Wow,
he
I did not know that lore.
so he's 17 forever, and for some reason, uh, like he and his siblings keep moving and going to different high schools forever, even though everyone who's ever been to high school is like, why on God's green earth would you subject yourself to an eternity of being a high school student?
Yeah, that's like if you don't need to be in high school, like don't be in high school.
Yeah, so that was also like a really odd choice on the part of the family, but that family has weirder, kinkier shit going on because the siblings are just like three married couples. Or yeah, so it's two married couples and then Edward the loner, and then he falls in love with Bella the human girl. But so basically he lives with three couples who are immortal and probably do nothing but have sex all night, and then it's just him, the one loser guy. But doesn't it feel incel adjacent?
Yeah, well, why can't where are the other vampires? Why can't he get another vampire?
I I think it's just because like he's masochistic and he like hates the fact that he's a vampire because they're vegetarian vampires, which is also a thinly veiled metaphor for abstinence, I think. So he, like, only his family are the only vegetarian vampires, so well, all they do is they abstain from humans, so they eat like a bunch of deer.
That's what vegetarianism in vampires is?
Yeah, so it's like they go hunting for wildlife instead of people, and it's like this whole convoluted thing, like the blood of the animals isn't as satisfying, but they subsist off it anyway because they're noble and true to their principle.
Are they like, is that this is just turning into me like just wondering about Twilight, but now I'm curious. So is the family like, are they good people or are they kind of
Yes, so the whole point is that like they're the only family who wants to live among humans, and all other vampires see humans as prey. So the other vampires like want to kill them, and they're like ostracized from society because they choose to live among humans. And then the fact that Edward falls in love with Bella, of course, like incites the war between the clans or whatever.
but if they want to live amongst humans, wouldn't they be like, yo, that's a vibe to like a human because we don't even eat their blood. Like we want to be amongst them. Like, isn't that like if they are vegetarian and they're like, no, we like humans, we want to live amongst them. And then it's like, oh yeah, falling in love with a human. It feels like if they're liberal, they would be like, yeah, sure. But they're not.
They would say yes to what?
If they like if they're like liberal vegetarian vampires,
Yeah.
you'd think that they'd be okay, like love who you love too, because it's like they are more considerate of humans.
Well, his family is okay with it. It's the other vampire families that are not.
Oh, I'm newly on. I was like, I also kind of freaked me out, and I was right. It is a very strange place, and I don't know if like the people on there are like built in a lab or I don't know. Like it just I don't understand it. But I guess I'll give it a month.
The cynic in me says that they only admitted me because they didn't want to be perceived as ableist, but also the pretentious person in me is like, why are there so many normies on here? Like, this isn't all famous people. There are like three famous people to like 100, like, regular, medium ugly men and vaguely hot women. Like, I could get that
Yeah.
on any app. You know what I mean? But
It's like a bunch of people who are like I'm a signed model and I work in finance. And then the women are like have filters on and are wearing like tube dresses. And I'm like, I don't think I fit in here, but happy to be invited. Happy to be invited to the party. Not sure I'm gonna stay.
I I've been on there for over a year. I haven't met up with one person, but now I met Ethan, so it's worth it. And I also like it just for like the people watching. But I have to hand it to them. Like Ethan's my genuine friend now, and I know that we'll be friends forever now. So I can finally justify paying $59.99 a month or whatever the fuck it is. Because that's the other thing. Like, if I'm gonna be ignored, I'm gonna be ignored by hot people or people with power. I'm done being ignored by regular people. That's been the whole rest of my life, and I'm starting a new chapter of being ghosted only by people with clout.
That does feel better. Like, I agree. It does feel better because you're like, they're probably too famous for me anyway. Like,
Yeah,
that's all right. I get it. You don't want to be seen with a plebe like me.
yeah, yeah. And then whenever I get bored and filter out the men, I don't know if you have this experience. Obviously, you're very pretty, but like you don't match with any women, and like I feel so bad about myself. I'm like, am I actually the ugliest person on earth? But it's just
I,
because
no,
women don't like match on apps.
no. But that is like that is a thing. Like women, especially like on stuff, like I don't feel comfortable liking other people, but I'm
Yeah.
like too scared to like other people. Like I'm too scared.
Oh, not me, honey. I'm desperate and fine with that. I get that dignity ship has sailed a long time ago. I just swipe right on everyone.
That's kind of low-key smart. I will have to say I I've been I downloaded Cameo I think like last year because I thought it'd be funny to do. Got my first Cameo request this week. So I am soliciting myself. If people want a cameo from me, they might be kind of bad, but they also be could be kind of good. And I'm cheap. I'm cheap.
I mean, I would argue that your style alone is worth it. So it's worth it just for the fashion roulette.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a fashion roulette. You get my sensibility for the day, my hair color of the month. There's always something interesting happening visually.
It's like, are you a trucker or a librarian? It keeps me guessing. It keeps it zesty.
You'll never know. Do I have a can clip thing on my ear? Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Okay, shout outs to I am not sponsored by this place. I have bought all of the jewelry with my own money, but Occult, Studio
Yeah,
Occult,
yeah,
female clip.
nice.
Check them out. I'm like, I'm not getting any money for this, but I'd love to if you want. I would love.
Yeah, me too, because I'm like one of the world's most expensive bitches to keep alive because I need like 24/7 care. So I'm like, if I ever got a platform, I would home myself out to any brand that would have me because I need that money, especially like if I want a wife, wives are typically more expensive than husbands. And I
And you're pay your sugar mama.
so like you've always got to plan to be the breadwinner either in the family or for yourself.
In this economy, yeah,
Yeah, so I need that money, and then in the future I want to adopt kids too, which is also expensive. So
it
I
is.
I need like an ass ton of money like immediately. So any brand that wanted to do anything with me, I'd be like, sure, I'll hawk your supplements or what, not the diarrhea ones, but like normal fruit gummies.
Skinny tea or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do anything besides skinny tea or whatever that's called. We are both soliciting ourselves separately for brands that might be interested in us. Happy to get free stuff, free money, anything.
If you want to give me, I will happily accept.
Yes, I need more junk in my apartment, so please clutter my stuff more. I need stuff.
Yeah, yeah. If there's one thing that consistently fills the void of my existential crisis, it's meaningless or meaningful if you're paying me little treats.
Yeah, oh, I live off of treats. Like that's how I get through my day.
Yeah,
I allow myself too many treats.
yeah. Like at this point, it's getting kind of absurd. Like I don't need that many treats, but I've like budgeted for that many treats in my life.
My apartment is filled with little treats. This lamp that I love so much, I just got myself as a little treat. It's a baby. Sorry, that's my plant. It's a baby.
What? Wow, how totally not terrifying or phallic at all.
Look at its head. It's so sharp.
Why?
I don't know, but it's so cute. Look at how devilish he looks.
Look at his eyes. I like his facial expression.
I'm turning it off so you can really see
Yeah, I can really appreciate and absorb
how sharp his
the
head is.
neonatal beauty of whatever that is.
And he has just like a mohawk of hair. Actually, I don't know if it's a he or a she or a they. I don't know what the blue maybe earrings here, but I love this baby.
Yeah,
That was my little treat recently.
he's definitely been through a few eras, that's for sure. He looks good for his age.
Yeah, that baby is older than me.
Yeah, are you in your 30s too?
I'm not. I'm 27.
Oh, chill.
I am I'm in my like the 27 club era.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I have no white lighters. I'm not accumulating any white lighters, so I think I'll be good. That was
You-
like a that was like a thing. Like they all died with like white lighters or something.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that, Laura. Is that true?
You know what? I don't know if anything is true with the 27 Club, but I think those things happened, but I don't know what's true about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 33 and I still get asked when I'm alone at the mall where my mom is. So I would say I'm winning the aging game.
I've been carded a couple times recently, which has felt really awesome.
Yeah, it's it's always good when people assume that you're not being totally knuckle blasted by father time.
Knuckle blasted. That's like disgusting.
I
Knuckle blasted is so funny.
don't know where that came from.
Knuckle blasted is nuts.
Yeah,
You're not being knuckle blasted by Father Time. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we're all being knuckle blasted.
yeah, it just is what it is. In this current era, I'm just like every day is just a new treat. My delusions are the only thing that's getting me through at this point.
100%. My delusions are the only things I can count on.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, my parents are huge fans of you. They're like, when is Chloe gonna be in something else? Can you ask her? And I'm like, I will. So they're like your biggest fans.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm doing a lot of live stuff in New York, which is super fun. I have a show this Wednesday, March 19th. I'm sure this will probably come out after, but um the character is Pepper Slit and she's like a washed up burlesque cabaret performer. And I've done it for like many years at the Slipper Room. It's really fun. Um, and then otherwise, I've been doing a lot of writing and I'm working on a show right now that's animated and it's for, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say where it is. I actually don't know the legality of any of that, but
You can
it
get
will be
this. It's
somewhere.
fine.
But yeah, I'm working on an animated show that's really fun and it's based on these two animated shorts that I did for Adult Swim a few years ago.
Nice.
So you won't be able to see my face in those, but you'll be able
I
to
mean,
hear my voice.
I mean, for some people that might be worth the price of admission, but I don't know.
Just my voice, you know, if that's convincing enough, then
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm down with that. Voices can really make or break it for a lot of people. On Hinge, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, well, it does it for me as we've found out today.
Yeah, today we all discovered that we both have a vocal kink.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put that on my profile now. Vocal kink. Please send me a voice note. I have a vocal kink.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true. I love voice memos because it makes you feel like you're talking to an actual person instead of a picture.
I am literally like when we get off of this, I'm going to change something to like please send me a voice note.
Well, good. I hope I can improve your dating and or sex life through this conversation. I'm sure not helping myself, but at least I can help you. So that'll be
No, I got you too. We're both helping each other. I'm gonna, I'm gonna get on and start soliciting as well, and then it'll become a collab thing, and then we'll have this whole harem of of people.
That's like because I'm very into like throuple culture as well. Because beggars can't be choosers. But one of my favorite TikToks is the idea of a throuple always disgusted me when I thought there had to be a man in there. But then I realized you could be in a scenario where two bad bitches want you, and I was all for it. Because
Oh,
I was like, yeah, that's the life. Can you imagine being in a lesbian throuple? Like the absolute dream. You have
that
you have two people and they're both women.
that is like it really does take all the mess work out of it, literally.
Yeah, like it's just three of you being hot together and women, and you don't have to deal with any men, and it's like perfect.
And you're just like having a sleepover, have like snuggled watching a movie, and then no men, no men.
Exactly, it's the dream. Like you don't even need wet dreams at that point because you're living one.
You are living one. You are living the wet dream.
Yeah,
Knuckles Deep by Father Time. Oh, that's good. That's you should name that this episode. Knuckles Deep by Father Time.
knuckle blasted by
Oh,
father.
Knuckle Blasted. That was it. You should, yeah,
Yeah,
Knuckle Blasted by Father Time. Knuckles first somehow. Yeah, Knuckles.
yeah. Which is my 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 emotion. I gave this line to Rose earlier, but I was like, I'm not technically a virgin because the government fucks me over so hard every day. You got a kick out of that one.
That's good. You could yeah, rock that on stage if you don't already.
I know Rose spent like half an hour trying to convince me to do stand up, and I am open to it. But the problem is, I don't have capacity, like without breaks for another person to speak, I lose my breath and then I like can't talk. So I feel like that wouldn't go very well for pacing unless I like did a duet with like you or Rose. Then I
Yeah. That's like that it's like having a duo act or
yeah.
just being like okay, every time I put the I put like I move my finger like this or something or like I stick out my tongue, you guys all have to start clapping. So I have a second to catch my breath.
I want them all to develop like a Pavlovian response to me panting. Um, the first person I interviewed was Morgan Jade. He's really funny, but I was obviously really awkward because it was my first one and he's huge. So I like obviously all you guys have been big audiences, so I was nervous because it was the first one and he agreed to post it on his feed, which was really nice. And at one point I lost my breath and I couldn't talk and I said, "Oh, sorry, I just get tired." And he goes, "That's okay. I have that effect on women," and it made me laugh so much.
Damn, that's smooth.
Yeah, he is a good one. There's a reason that like most of his comedy is like subtly hitting on half the audience. He's pretty.
Damn. That's smooth. I gotta get on that level. I don't think I had any of those tonight, that today, like any like smooth lines that are like, damn, she's smooth.
Yeah, I was telling Rose like I have so many sexy monologues stored in my head, but coming out of this body, they totally fail. Like I wish I could feed my lines to like Jacob Elordi or someone really hot, because I know I could get so many people laid. But it's just like the dissonance between my thoughts and this body like doesn't work for the delivery. You know what I mean?
Well, that is the beauty of being a writer.
Yeah,
You
I
get
think
to do it and then make someone else say it and potentially say it better. That's something I love about being a writer and being like, so this would be funny, but I wouldn't make it funny. Someone else would make it funny.
yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about sex appeal too. Like this would be sexy, but someone else can make it sexier.
That is the whole epitome of writing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also like a stereotypical gay and I write poems for like the women I like and stuff. So my iPhone phone notes are all like old poems from
That's cute.
situationships. It's a cliche.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah. It's just like when you don't have looks on your side, you know you've got to be a good poet. And so lucky I'm that.
When that's like another quote. When you don't have looks on your side, you gotta be a good poet. And that is true. Like, no matter what, if like someone's not your type or like whatever, but if they can like spit some bars, you're just like, okay, we're in.
Yeah, exactly. And like historically, especially the men that I've been into have been super ugly, but they've all been like really good with like one-liners and delivery or like emotional intelligence. So that's all I need.
That is. It's all all we need is just the bare minimum.
Yeah, literally the bar is below hell. It's like beneath Earth's core.
That's perfect. Perfect for us.
I know. Well, I know we've been talking a while, so I feel like I should let you go, but this has been super great.
Oh my gosh, this was so lovely.